Welcome back, my beautiful super soul sisters, and today we're going to talk about compass shoes. Now, literally as in the compass that sets our direction. We actually have an internal compass that actually keeps us on course, whether it's the right course or sometimes not so right course. And that normally has a lot to do with something called the amygdala. And the amygdala sits in the temporal lobes, the medial temporal lobes by your temples, sitting behind there, in between, in the middle of the brain, near the hippocampus. And the whole purpose of the amygdala is they're like little almond-shaped glands that govern your fight and flight response. They're part of that whole endocrine system of gauging how you manage your safety in life. And we are primarily programmed to go into, shall we say, flight mode, mainly because of survival. So our primal part of our brain, the oldest part of our brain, wants us to be safe. That is the primary driver. Nothing wrong with that. That's a really good thing. However, sometimes there's a misperception, if you like, that we learn as we're developing about what is actually a real danger and what's not. And it actually can hold us back from taking the steps that we actually need to take in order to be able to change direction. So it's not uncommon. A good way to look at it is if you've got a compass on a boat, you know how they have those automatic navigation systems, and it's set. It's almost like a thermostat or a GPS. I don't know what they actually call it. And it goes, right, we want to go in this direction. And then, you suddenly, come to an event, or you do a certain, course or whatever, and you go, do you know what, I don't want to go that way. Like I've been programmed to go that way. Everybody else reckons it's the best way to go. I feel comfortable, and that's a big one. I feel comfortable going this way, even if there's discomfort in it, even if there's discord, even if there's, I'm not happy with my life and the way it is. There is a payoff. Remember, we were talking about what's the payoff for what you're actually doing, is that there's enough for you to not want to change. So I often get things like where people will say, well, it's better the devil than better the devil than the devil you don't. So as much as you don't like it, you kind of stick with it. Like I've got one guy who, an example that's just popped into my head, where it's like, he's not happy in his job. He is highly talented. He could get a job somewhere else with better pay, probably with either more responsibility and yet more pay, or at least make a lateral move where he's got less responsibility and the same pay. He's skilled, he's qualified. However, there's a concern that, you know what, and you just listen to the language. The language is, oh no, well, if I go there, it's like, well, the better the devil than the devil you don't. I'm better off staying where I am because and then they help pay for whatever it is to help him stay in Queenstown. The pay's not so good, but they look after me in other ways. They treat me really nicely, that kind of thing. So you'll end up justifying why you're going to stay on the path that you actually don't want to stay on. And fundamentally, deep down, you're uninspired, don't want to make a change. And then one day you might go, oh yes, okay, I'm going to be brave enough, I'm going to go over here and go onto this new path with my new shoes, going in the direction that I want to go in. But then I land up self-sabotaging, because what happens is, just like the boat analogy, if you have the compass preset to only go in this direction, so you're doing a conscious level change rather than a subconscious level change, you need to get down deep enough to have it where you're making the changes on a deeper level, so that your new compass is now set to your new path, not to the old path. So it's not uncommon for people on their boats, their metaphorical boats, floating along and going, well, we're all good, we've set the compass, this way. And then you go upstairs and then you find that, oh, flip, it's recorrected itself and it's going back to the path that I didn't want to go on. And it's like, that's when we self-sabotage, right? That's when we go, oh, you know, and that is because we've got too much comfort and too much investment in the comfortable road than the uncomfortable road. So there's a few things that you need to be aware of, is that, you know, like if you go out on a path, it's like that whole riding the bike again. You don't know, you know, if you can even ride it. You never thought about even riding it. You've now decided you're going to take the plunge. You get over onto your new path. You try your new career, your new relationship, or you go single, and then you go, right, I'm going to conquer the world. And then suddenly you find there's a few challenges in life, like, oh, okay, the job didn't work out, or actually it's not actually the job that I thought I was going to have, or the relationship that I was going to have, or I thought I was going to have a relationship and actually now I don't have a relationship at all, and actually I'm on my own. Or, you know, it's like I thought I was going to make all this money in my new business and actually it's taking me longer than what I did. So it's very easy to snap back into the old way, because, you know, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. You're more comfortable going on the compass route that you've had preset for so long, and there's comfort in the discomfort, enough for you to warrant staying put and not stretching your boundaries. And this is something that you need to be consciously aware of when you are changing your shoes. Okay, so a lot of people say to me, well, but Vicki, you know, like, right, I now know that I want to shift over here, okay? And I now know that I want to do this, but how do I actually do that? So that how thing comes into play. A lot of it is also being consciously aware, even knowing about the amygdala, even knowing about this compass, having compass shoes on and resetting your compass to the way we want it to go, and staying true and dedicated to it is so important. Okay, you need to have it where you can actually easily and comfortably wear those, and even when it's uncomfortable, and there will be plenty of times where that happens on your new path. I can absolutely guarantee it. There is no way that it's just going to feel like the old way. It's just not going to. So that's when you got to go, right, no, I'm now onto you, that you're trying to get me to snap back into this old path, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I have dedicated, I know that it's tough, I know that it's wobbly, and that I'm just actually, I remember now that Vicki was saying, yes, that's right, I'm actually going to go through wobbly stages. This is just one of them. I know it'll pass. So, you know, get systems in place where you can work through it. Maybe it's that, you know, you go, right, I acknowledge that this isn't working, for example, in my new business, and maybe I need to get some coaching to help me through that rather than to give up. Okay, so don't give up, don't sabotage yourself, don't take off your shoes that are going to get you to where you really want to go, and sacrifice your life wasting your time in the mundane comfort zone that you've been in for so jolly long. We want to snap you out of that and keep you on track. Now this is really you know, this is where coaching really helps. really helps, because when you're having those skiddies, you know, it's nice just to have someone to soundboard with. It's really good to have somebody, especially if they're a coach specifically trained to whatever it is, say in your business that you're trying to do, or if it's in an emotional capacity, that are trained in the specific thing that you now know is a stumbling block. So let's give you an example. Say, for example, you know, I don't know, you were in a dead-end relationship, a marriage, or, you know, long-term partnership, whatever it is, and you suddenly realize, look, this is just not going anywhere. I'm just not happy, and I'm done. I'm going to get out of it, and I'm going to go out there, plenty of fish in the sea, and I'm going to get snapped up. Reality check. You get out there and you suddenly find actually there are plenty of fish in the sea, but there's quite a few duds, and actually maybe if I'm older or whatever, it's actually not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Now, what do I do about that? So that's when, instead of snapping back into the let's go back to the old because I'm comfortable with that and being miserable for the remainder of my life, you know, being completely unfulfilled, or do I go with, do you know what, what you do is you'll end up associating more pain to going back to the old way than you do to continuing on. And sometimes you need a bit of coaching to help you relabel the things that would have set your compass, your amygdala going, fear, 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 you're going to be on your own for the rest of your life, and all of this, catastrophe talk. The parrot kicks in with all these stories, your parrot shoes, and it's like negative, 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 and you go in your downward spiral, and you're just like, okay, I'll just go back. So how many lovely ladies, I mean, look, we've all made this, poor decisions in our lives, like with relationships where we've probably gone back to someone. I had a golden rule, never going back to anybody, and it was just like, for that reason, there was a reason that you actually left. If it was a job, then it's the same thing. Like, the reason that you left your job was because it wasn't enough money, it wasn't fulfilling, the boss wasn't nice, whatever it is, fill in the gap. And it's just like, really, do you want to put yourself through that on an ongoing basis, as opposed to wearing your new compass shoes? So it's your old compass and your new compass shoes. You want your new compass shoes on, and it's like, I will tough this out. I know it's not easy. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to get my MacGyver shoes on. I'm going to find a way out of this if I can't afford a coach or whatever. Or it's maybe that I trade time with someone so that I can get the coaching that I need, or the support that I need. I'm going to find like-minded friends that are going to support me, like you would in the Vicki Jane Facebook group, where you can connect with each other and go, like, I'm kind of struggling with this. Anybody else having a similar thing? Or maybe like they're stronger in one aspect than you are. So say if it's a classic would be in a physical sense, like if you have a propensity for being comfortable with overeating, for example, and it's like, I always reach for the chocolate, or I always reach for the chips, or I reach for both, or the pizza, or the wine, or all of the above, whatever the case might be. And yet, there's somebody in the Vicki Jane group that's really good at the physical side. Like, they might be a gymnast, they might be or a, what do you call them? A PE teacher, or I don't know, anything to do with the physical, a yoga teacher. And you could say, look, hey, I need to be held accountable here, will you help me? So getting that support network from the right people. Don't go looking for it with a group of people who have got eating issues. So I find a lot of people, they're comfortable, they go out with the same crowd, and they're eating and they're drinking and they're doing everything that you're trying to not do. So don't go hang out. Don't put yourself in that environment that's going to help you cave, that's going to help you get back onto the old compass road. We want you on the new compass way. So it's like that whole riding the bike. It is going to be bumpy, and being half of this stuff is being aware. First of all, I didn't even know that there was such a thing called amygdala. Why would I want to know that? The reason you want to know it, it's that sucker that's going to sabotage you. It's that guy. It's going to go, do you know what? Fear factor. No. Let's go back to the primal way of performing. Snap back into the old way. Go back down the old road. Right, nice and comfortable. Don't push those boundaries. Nah, we don't want that. We are here to progress. We are here to grow. And here's the thing. Once you start getting those little checkpoints on your new compass road, once you on your new path with your new shoes, with people that are supporting you in the right way, okay, and you're getting it from friends, hopefully family, hopefully just through the group. Might be through mastermind groups that we've got. It might be that you do group coaching if you can't afford one-on-one coaching. You got to start using your investigator shoes, your inspector shoes, where your shoe lock shoes, where you investigate. It's like, okay, I recognize I'm now having my wobble, and my instinct is going, go back the old way, snap. We don't want that. Okay, I'm going, do you know what? No, I don't want to do that. Thank you very much, amygdala. And you give thanks. You say, thank you very much. I appreciate that you're trying to keep me safe. I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to do it this way, okay? Because the payoff will be way more. It will be far better for you going down the road that you really want to go down, as opposed to not. And I got to tell you, there are going to be times where I've seen, people have taken countless curveballs on their roads of the path that they really want to go on. And if you really truly believe in your heart, if you are in sync with, aligned with who you truly are, that whole thing where I was saying, when you're connected to source and, you're totally grounded and you're solid, those things are going to come at you, but you're going to stay true to your course. You're going to stay solid. You're going to stay unshakable. And then when you go, look, I've got other trees, my other network. Remember, we were talking about the roots trees, where I've got my network of like-minded trees, like the aspens. Remember, we're talking about those aspen trees, where they've got, all the trees are connected in their roots. And it's like this around here is my new family. This is my new support network. This is what's going to get me through those moments of let me go back to the old way. We don't want to do that. So what do I need to do? These guys are going to talk my language. They're going to wear my kind of shoes, or even if they're not wearing my exact shoes, they're at least on the same path as me. And we're all going to walk in this direction together, irrespective of what gets thrown at us. And yes, I know I'm going to have a wobble. And thank you, amygdala, for making me fearful and reminding me that I do have to be safe. Now, don't take this as an opportunity to go, oh, well, Vicki Jane told me not to be safe. That's not what I'm telling you at all. I'm saying stay true to your path, make adjustments. Don't be blinded by the fact that if something's not working, you have to change. You have to now be the bamboo, where it's like, if that didn't work, what do I need to learn about that? Is it just, it could be that, you don't throw the whole system out the window. Maybe it's just that you need to do some tweaks. So say if it's in a business environment, that's when you need a business coach who's actually specifically trained in whatever it is that you want to be a guru at, and go find someone who's actually done it, and they'll go, oh, no, you're on course, but you might just want to make these few changes. And then you go, oh, and you do those changes, and maybe 2 out of 3 will work, but the third doesn't. Don't harbor on the third. Go, right, okay, that didn't work, so do I adjust that or do I biff it? But it's like a test and measure. Tweak. Okay, as you're going along your new path, fear will kick in every single time something isn't working. I'm guarantee it. It's just how it is. We're programmed like that, and it's purely that primal part of our brain going, oh, fear, what if, maybe, shouldn't, this could happen. And then you land up in catastrophe thinking, and before you know it, you're back on the old path. Now if you land up on the old path, that's when you need to reach out to someone in the Vicki Jane community, or you book yourself in for some coaching, or you go for group coaching if you can't afford it with us, or you do something. It doesn't even have to be with us. You do something that's going to get you back on track. So say, for example, in the case of a business, if it was too much of a leap, and you still have to say provide for your family, maybe you do moonlighting. So where you go, okay, I will do this kind of work, but I'm going to only do X amount of hours, and then the balance of that time I'm actually going to do on my new path. So maybe that was too big of a jump straight away. You're like, if you've got to support your family and you've got to feed them, etc., then understandably, throwing, out all the apples is probably not going to be as beneficial as maybe doing moonlighting. And then when you're stable enough in your new path, you can now get rid of the old way and then step over into the new. That's just an example. Okay. Not recommended with relationships. Okay, don't do that with relationships. Don't have something on the side until you see, oh yeah, I think I can move over now. Just don't go there. That's not a winning formula at all. And I must talk to you guys actually about winning formulas. That's another wonderful one that really is very, very helpful. So but you get my drift. It's like, what is in line with who I truly am, and understand from the get-go that you know that there's this compass thing going on, old compass, new compass, okay? And when old compass is trying to suck us into the vortex of old compass, we go, no, we're not going to do that. And I'm conscious of it. Thank you. Thanks to the amygdala. We say, thank you for trying to keep me safe. I will endeavor to do that. And this is how I'm going to get through this and still maintain safety so that we can still stay on course. Tell me if you found that useful, hey? How many people knew that? How many of you knew that? Okay, not many people know about that. So, and if you do know about it, congratulations to you. But how many of you have thought of it in the terms of compass shoes? So maybe, in the comments box, you could go hashtag compass shoes, if you're wanting new compass shoes, I want new compass shoes. Hashtag I want new compass shoes. Hashtag I want new compass shoes. That is getting you onto your own path. And put that in both. If you're watching on YouTube, fantastic, add it here. If you're watching in Facebook, fantastic, add it here. And then if you're in the Facebook group, it also gives you the opportunity to hashtag search that. So you can go hashtag, the new compass shoes. You can just put new compass shoes for me, or something about new compass shoes, so that you can find other people who are also wanting to shift onto their new path. It's now time for you to get onto your new path. Okay, let's find other people who are wanting to do the same, and then see if where they're trying to make their corrections, and see if there's a match. And then you can buddy up. You can start supporting each other on how you guys can all be there for each other to get you further down the track as well, and be accountable. You may go, oh, well, I'm not qualified, but sometimes it's just a case of, do you know what, I just needed someone to talk to, and it's like, no, you can do this, girlfriend, you can do this, it's okay. You don't have to be totally qualified. It's like, maybe it's like, if you're trying to stay off the chocolate, you know what, instead of going for chocolate, let's go for a walk, or let's go for a run, or let's go for a swim, or let's go do some yoga, or let's just talk until the sensation subsides, whatever. It can be as little as that. So let's start being there for each other. If you like this, please thumbs up, like, subscribe, please share. Get this word out for me. YouTube are doing some really strange things at the moment. They are really not promoting all the wellness and tarot stuff in their algorithms as much as they used to. So I'm really reliant on a lot of people sharing. It's all free. It's all stuff that does shift the bar, that will help you get you take the next step, get you in your pair of shoes that actually work for you, get you on the path that you actually want, help you stay on that path, which is what this is all about today. And ideally with a group of wonderful super soul sisters who are going to help you on your journey. Now, if that sounds amazing, come on over and join us if you're not already in the Facebook group. Hope you enjoy that, lovely ladies. As always, I love having my time with you each day. And yeah, I'll be off for my exercise in a minute soon. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care, love. Bye.